Imagine two students preparing for the same math exam. One studies for 8 hours a day, the other studies for just 2. Who do you think gets the higher score? If you pick the student who studied longer, you're about to discover the biggest mistake almost every math student makes. Because math isn't a memory game. It's a pattern recognition game. And once your brain starts seeing patterns instead of numbers, solving math becomes unbelievably fast. Some students discover this after years of frustration. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some students solve problems in minutes that others struggle with for hours. And you'll have a science-based system that makes studying math feel so effective, it almost feels illegal. Let's start with a simple question. Why do some students spend hundreds of hours studying math, yet still panic the moment they see a new problem? It's not because they didn't work hard. It's because they trained their memory, instead of training their brain. Most students think math is about remembering formulas, but top students do something completely different. They don't ask, "What formula do I use?" They ask, "What kind of problem is this?" That tiny change completely changes how your brain works, because your brain isn't designed to memorize thousands of random facts. It's designed to recognize patterns. And once you understand that, everything changes. Here's something your math teacher probably never told you. Your brain has 2 different learning modes. The first mode memorizes information. The second mode understands patterns. Most students spend almost all their time feeding the first mode. They highlight textbooks, rewrite notes, and memorize formulas over and over again. It feels productive, but your brain is mostly staying in passive mode. Then exam day arrives, and suddenly the questions look completely different. The formulas are still in your head, but you don't know when to use them. That's because math isn't testing your memory. It's testing whether you can recognize the pattern hiding inside the problem. And once you train your brain to spot those patterns, you'll solve problems faster than students who memorize twice as much. Here's the secret. Top math students don't see hundreds of different questions. They see just a handful of familiar patterns. At first, every problem looks unique, but once you know what to look for, they start repeating. Think about learning to drive. At first, every road feels different. Later, your brain recognizes the patterns automatically. Math works exactly the same way. So stop asking, "What's the answer?" Start asking, "What pattern am I looking at?" That one question changes everything. From today on, every time you solve a problem, don't stop when you get the correct answer. Ask yourself, why did this method work? When you understand the reason behind the method, you're no longer memorizing math. You're building a mental map. And once that map exists, new problems stop feeling new. Now comes the part that separates average students from top performers. It's called active recall. Most students read the solution, nod their head, and think, "I get it." But understanding a solution isn't the same as solving it yourself. Your brain learns by struggling, not by watching. So before looking at the answer, force yourself to think for just 5 minutes. You don't have to solve it perfectly, you just have to make your brain search. That search is where real learning happens. Even if your answer is completely wrong, your brain is now ready to understand the correct one. That's why making mistakes isn't the enemy. Skipping the thinking process is. From now on, don't ask, "Did I get it right?" Ask, "Did I make my brain work?" That one question will change how you study forever. Now let's talk about a study habit that feels productive, but secretly keeps you slow. Imagine solving 20 algebra problems in a row. By the 20th question, it feels easy. But here's the problem. Your brain isn't getting smarter, it's getting comfortable. Then the exam mixes algebra, geometry, calculus, and probability on the same paper. Suddenly, your brain freezes. Not because the questions are impossible, but because your brain never practiced choosing the right method. Top students do something different. They mix different types of problems in the same study session. At first, it's harder, but later, the exam feels easier. Have you ever solved a difficult math problem perfectly, then completely forgotten how to do it just a week later? If that happens to you, you're not bad at math. Your brain is simply doing what it was designed to do. It deletes information it thinks you'll never need again. Think about it. Your brain receives thousands of pieces of information every single day. If your brain remembered everything, you'd be overwhelmed. So your brain asks one simple question. Will I need this again? If the answer seems like probably not, it starts erasing the memory. That's why reviewing your notes once, and never coming back to them, almost guarantees you'll forget. So, when should you review a math topic? Every day? Every week? Only before the exam? The answer might surprise you. Not too early, and definitely not too late. The best time to review is right before your brain is about to forget. That tiny review sends your brain a powerful message. Hey, this information is important. Don't delete it. Here's a simple review schedule you can start using today. Learn the topic today. Review it on day 3, again on day 7, then day 14. Finally, day 30. Notice something? You're reviewing less often, not more. And yet, you'll remember the topic much longer. This isn't studying harder. It's working with your brain instead of fighting against it. Here's another myth that destroys millions of students every year. The longer you study, the more you'll learn. Sounds logical, but your brain doesn't work like a machine. Your attention isn't unlimited, it's a battery. And once that battery is empty, reading another page won't help. Have you ever read the same equation 3 times and still had no idea what it meant? That's not laziness. That's mental fatigue. So instead of asking, how many hours should I study? Ask a better question. How many minutes was I completely focused? 1 hour of deep focus can beat 4 hours of distracted studying. Every single time. Have you ever sat down to study, but your brain just refused to cooperate? You open your notebook, and 5 seconds later, you're thinking about YouTube, Instagram, or checking just one notification. Here's the truth. Distraction doesn't begin with your phone. It begins inside your brain. Your brain always looks for the easiest reward, so don't rely on motivation. Build a study ritual instead. Every study session should begin the same way. Same desk, same chair, same notebook, same starting time. Eventually, your brain stops asking, do I feel like studying? It starts saying, this is what we do now. Imagine if every single hour you studied was worth 3 ordinary hours. That's exactly what we're going to build. Forget marathon study sessions. From now on, you're going to train like an athlete. Every great athlete has a training plan. Every top math student should have one too. The first 5 minutes are your warm-up. Don't start with the hardest problem. Build momentum first. Next, spend 35 minutes solving problems without looking at the answers. Get stuck? Good. That's where your brain grows. Only after you've genuinely tried, check the solution. Don't just ask, what was the answer? Ask, why did this method work? That's the moment you stop memorizing solutions and start thinking like a mathematician. Think back to how you studied before this video. Hours of memorizing formulas, reading the same pages again and again, hoping something would finally stick. Now you know something most students never learn. Math isn't about memorizing more, it's about thinking differently. Recognize patterns. Test yourself before checking answers. Mix different problem types. Review before you forget. Focus deeply instead of studying endlessly. These habits won't make math easy overnight, but if you practice them consistently, one day you'll look at a problem that once felt impossible and wonder why it ever seemed difficult. If this video changed the way you think about studying, hit the like button so more students can discover it too. Subscribe for more science-backed study and productivity videos every week. And in the comments, tell me one math topic you struggle with the most, because it might become the next video. Until then, study smarter, not longer. I'll see you in the next one.